morning starshine.
Welcome to the real world. Whoa! Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with breathe air. Here's the second best, okay?
GM. So, trade of the day, today being Thursday. And all week we've really just had sideways. So, Monday we had a move down. Tuesday we had a move up. Wednesday we had a move down. Thursday, but it's all within the sideways range. So, given that I don't expect much to happen until tomorrow's options expiry, you may continue to see more activity on alts, but I think you want to be watching Bitcoin closely because it's about to make its next move. And so today we have, there is economic data, there's Powell's speech. However, it's pre-prepared remarks. I don't think that's going to do much. It's a pre-recorded opening remarks. So it's literally just going to, play a fucking video. I doubt that's going to, he's not going to say anything, at that. Unemployment claims, that comes out every week. So even though the market's hyper-focused on the economy, it won't probably have a massive effect. Final GDP. GDP is huge, but final is the third reading. GDP comes out every quarter, and it comes out 3 times. You have advanced, preliminary, and final. So we've already had the advanced. See here? We've already had the preliminary, and they're released a month apart, and final. Advance is earliest, has the most impact. We've already seen that. We've already seen the prelim, and this one's not going to be. Again, it might, it says 3%. If it's significantly below or significantly above, it's going to have some volatility in the market. But the main mover will be tomorrow, probably with the inflation core PCE, if there's going to be any. But I think that the market is having less and less reliance on economic data at the moment. So I wouldn't read too much into that. As for the upside, if Bitcoin is able to reclaim 64, which is that old POC level, I think we take out the highs. 65.2 will be where I'm watching. Is that worth trading? It's a very small move. Depends. You might day trade or scalp it. If Bitcoin breaks 62.5, I think that sets up a pretty surefire move to, and really if it loses this value area low, which I'm going to draw this value area here from the original top, then everything we had since then was, so this is the trend, up, higher highs, higher lows, up. Then we try to break out, false breakout, we try to break out, false breakout, we try to break out, false breakout. So all of this is not a trend, it's a consolidation. Hence why we draw the value area across the consolidation. We tried to lose the value area low again yesterday. We did not lose it. That's good. Defended once more. So losing 62.9 will be your earliest indication that we're going to 61.6. And of course, these are the actual lows, the wicks. It has to lose 62.4 to get to there. So I think the move in between these levels can be quite fast. Probably would scalp or day trade a short there. I would not look much beyond that 61.8 because that's logically where it should hold if it's going to go back up. And of course, below there, which I don't think happens today, if at all, below there is when you can see the kind of deeper move all the way down to create some kind of, a proper pullback for a proper higher low forming, which probably takes us bearish end of September, starting into October with a bit of a down move, but then October recovers after. Because a lot of this move we've seen, people were not long here. They did not catch pretty much any of this. People really started to get long after the FOMC when Powell gave the word go, which is why moving back towards that level would not surprise me, and even going below it, because of course then that takes people out. People who bet long get taken out on the way down. So I would still have one eye on that over the end of September, early October. October is typically a good month, yes, but we're not in October yet. And if everyone's betting in mid to late September on a bullish October, there's time for a correction. I'm not really calling for it though. Like I'm long from 60k, or bought all my spot back, and still absolutely bullish. I don't think that there's any real need for the market to go significantly lower. I think that pullbacks are mostly just going to be a function of people getting too long too fast, horny longs, which is not a bearish thing. It just usually means that the over leverage has to get flushed, or we see some chop, right, until people kind of flip-flop their bias and we're so back, it's so over, we're so back. The general direction for the next few months should be up, dips should be bought, and I fully expect that. So it's not a great place to have a high time frame bearish view. I really don't think that. I think the bearish outcomes are pretty much all priced in at this point. We can absolutely pull back, but you should be viewing these pullbacks most likely as a bullish thing. And of course, we may not pull back. This could all be, let's say, let's keep it really simple. When we came up here in August, when we were not bullish yet, August too soon, we retested the breakdown level. What did it do? Pumped up, 2 days later, couldn't hold, straight back down. What happens this time? We move up more steadily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on the 8th day now up at this area, and it hasn't sold off. So clearly, the supply at this area is not as strong. On one hand, you can look at it and say, oh, look, we can't even make a new high. Oh, look, this is resistance. Well, on the other hand, price acceptance is greater here. Bitcoin has spent 2 days, one close and then 2 days above 63, and then it was straight back below and way down. This time, we're just regularly closing 8 days in a row above 63. So there's more acceptance here, which doesn't mean it has to go straight up, but it certainly is a sign that Bitcoin is building some more strength up through this range. And that shouldn't really be much of a surprise. Like, this whole, you don't have to overthink about, is it bull market, is it not, is it this, is that? Like, Bitcoin can still go to 68, it can go to 70 without any of that. It can just have a standard run through the range, right? Where you really need to consider, are we actually back? Is this big high time frame bullish or not? That's when we get above 70 and go for a breakout. That's when it really matters. Everything in between, just like we weren't super bullish here, we managed to get to 70 just because Trump was speaking at Bitcoin conference. We crashed down and we weren't going to zero. We bounced up and down. It's just a range. It's just a chop. It's a consolidation. So, low time frame. That's how I'd be looking at it. Altcoins look better on the whole. So the altcoin request today, this stream will be good. We'll set up some targets and plans for pullbacks on alts, trading alts. I know Pepe is one that I did on Trade of the Day the other day. Pepe is starting to move a bit. I have no interest in Pepe here yet. Pepe is one that's on my radar for a little while from now, because I don't think it's going to obviously do this path. These paths were not. That was me explaining yesterday's Trade of the Day. It wasn't to do with Pepe. The 4-hour trend is just trying to flip itself back to bullish, which is good. After that point, I would like to buy once you see some kind of FOMO, which probably is like if it takes these highs. There's probably going to be momentum to get Pepe to there, and then some kind of pullback, and it looks all bad, and it's bearish, and then, something like that. There's probably going to be some kind of retrace, some further continuation of the position building across Pepe. If there's a major sharp rally and it leaves you behind and it never pulls back and it goes all the way up, well, just let it go then. Like, they're not really the moves you want to be chasing anyway. So, unless of course you get, some key high time frame levels breaking. But I would not be calling this an uptrend because, look, it's making high and low and BOS and BOS and BOS. It's all just grinding into resistance. And it's not really an uptrend until this level breaks. That's the low, that's the high, that's the higher low. So that needs to break for it to actually have its first shift into a proper uptrend again. Because you had high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, no lower low. So this is the first time that Pepe is trying to stop its downtrend. That gets confirmed when it closes above basically 10.00001. Fucking stupid unit bias. So when it does that, at that point, I'd be looking at, okay, now Pepe is potentially in the early uptrend. We're still not there yet. Time to still has time to go. Now it may not. At that point, I'd be more than happy to just buy it on the way up. Like, you may get this pull back into a higher low, like I've drawn, but you may not. You might just see Pepe move above, consolidate, and then just keep going. That's fine. You just buy that BOS, and you put your stop loss below, because if it's just momentum, it's going to continue and continue and continue, and then probably doesn't pull back until near the all-time high, and then does that kind of shit. Just purely for people getting left behind or not being able to enter into the long or whatever. So, plenty of paths. We'll cover them all on altcoin requests. GM.